Wrestler, what was it like learning how to wrestle at first, and any pieces of advice you got when you started out that you've applied to today after retiring from the ring?
What happened was I met Dusty Rhodes in a country western bar, and we got to know each other. And he asked me if I ever thought about being a wrestler, and I said, "Sure, I've always wanted to." He said, "Well, come down and talk to me." So I went down and I talked to him, and he introduced me to Scott Hall, and he says, "I want to put you guys together, and so you guys can work against the Road Warriors, because you guys are big, and I think it would be a good team." So anyway, uh, we were with Dusty in Florida. He took the booking job in North Carolina for the Crockett's. So me and Scott went to Charlotte, and when we got there, they didn't even have a ring for us to work out in,
Hmm.
and basically what me and Scott ended up doing was helping the Crockett's, Jim Crockett promotion. They had a minor league baseball team, and we worked down there at the ballpark for nothing. And the only time we ever got to train was on Tuesdays. Did syndicated TV, so we would go down there early before the marks and everybody came in and worked out. But that wasn't very often either. The biggest thing that helped me was Ricky Steamboat. Ricky had a gym and allowed me to work out there for free, and got to know him pretty good. He started going to the TV tapings really early so he could work out with me, and he showed me a lot, and he became a good friend. And anyway, so me and Scott were starving to death in Charlotte, and Harley Race came to town. And so I was talking to Harley, and I was telling him, we're not getting any work. We don't even have a place to work out at. And he says, "Well, I have a territory in Kansas City." He says, "Come to Kansas City, and I'll find you some work." So me and Scott loaded up along with my wife, and we'll go to Kansas City, go to the office, and this guy says, "Can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, we're looking for Harley." He says, "Harley can't, he's not here, he's in Japan." I said, "Well, we were supposed to meet Harley here and go to work." He says, he says, "These guys are some pretty big guys." He says, "We'll put you to work." His name was Bob Geigel. And so that was the start of our career, was in Kansas City for me and Scott. Dusty had named us the American Starship. Have no idea why he did that. And I couldn't find out what kind of, rhyme or reason for us to be called the American Starship, Eagle and Coyote. And that was the start of everything.
Florida, Missouri, that's a pretty big move.
Yeah, it was. And, it was just, took it on chance, the whole deal. There was times we were thinking, was it all worth all this? But it turned out good.
I think it's pretty fascinating. Dusty is someone that people still look back fondly of when it came to coming up with talent and helping talent grow, foster into superstars. And so he had a knack for really coming up with pretty cool gimmicks and characters and mentoring young superstars to be big. And so getting the chance to learn under him, what was it like working with Dusty Rhodes?
Well, it was tough because he didn't really help us. He got our foot in the door, but he didn't help me or Scott. It was Ricky Steamboat was the one that really helped me up, and Terry Funk. Um, like I said, Ricky had worked out with me a few times, and you know, I was in Kansas City. I didn't like Kansas City. I hated it out there. We were driving 3,000 miles a week for $200,
Really?
and it was pretty rough. And I called Dusty, and he said, "Well, come on back. Tell Scott to stay there. I'll bring you back." And when I got back to Charlotte, I about started to death again. He didn't give me bookings or anything. Uh, but I was training down at working out at Steamboat's gym, and Ricky says, "Get me some pictures together, and I'll take them to New York." Now I've been in the business for less than a year, and Ricky took the pictures to New York, and they brought me in, and they teamed me up with Mike Rotunda because Barry had left, and they had the American U.S. Express, or American Express. I think it was American Express, and I took Barry's place, which was a huge break for me. Luckily, Mike Rotunda took good care of me and showed me the ropes, and he helped me an awful lot, you know. And because I was green, but you know, I was a good student, and I think because it worked out pretty good for quite a while, and that was a
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, it was the U.S. Express, I believe that was the team, the WWE. Um, it was Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham. You came on board, and so learning under Mike, anything that you remember learning from him that stuck with you today?
Oh gosh, Mike, you know, Mike taught me, you know, the things to do in the ring and things not to do in the ring. And he was very patient. I was saying that, but, you know, and we're still friends today. Uh, know his family quite well. Uh, but Mike was, he was a good teacher. He really was.